Hello everyone. So if you watched my last video about the guide to getting SSS in all the labyrinths, I mentioned that I would never do this labyrinth again, the fourth one. But here I am doing it again because overnight I noticed that the meta changed a little. So instead of using pomegranate, we're using blackberry with Yeti. And it just turns out she scores a lot better. I think this is just due to the fact that, for two things. First of all, she outputs potions occasionally with her ghosts. And also, those like ghost jellies, those lanterns, give quite a lot of points. So, since the run is pretty long, that adds up a lot very quickly. But other than that, we're using Blueberry again as the relay, same treasures, same skill tree. So yeah. So I ran this definitely a lot more than I did the pomegranate. And I sort of memorized some jumping timing in a few places. For example, here, you do not want to break turbo. Because you will need turbo for this section over here. After the giant, you will have your 40 jump shield regenerated from the skill tree, which is used here, but then you need another shield from turbo right here. So that's that. Again, ideally you never break the jumper shield because that always gives you points. And that was just me pausing. I think I cut it to make it shorter. But you usually don't want to break the jumper, but any other shield is fine. Like there, I broke the shield on purpose so that I don't fall down there. I can just walk down below there and it's fine. And I do that sort of a few times throughout the run. It's sort of a running theme. When there's a lot of gaps, a lot of places to fall on the map, I sometimes play it safe and collide on purpose so that for like 3, 4, 5 seconds I have fall immunity. Because the easiest way to mess up this run, in my experience, is you fall. And actually, the score you see on the right there is me having fallen with Blackberry once. So that was just over 1 million. And the reason I reran it after that is because first place is actually at 1 million, at 1,020 million. So just 2 million points shy. So I wanted to get this first place video for you guys and break my fingers in the process. So here you want to stay on the bottom platform. That will let you grab all the jellies from below and above. Of course you want to grab the big potion here. Here I do eventually break the shield from the jumper treasure there. I'm not sure that's the best, but I found that if you try to jump slower in that part, you just end up losing more points. Another thing I wanted to mention actually about Blackberry is I think another reason she's so good is because occasionally the ghosts produce a giant power-up. And while you're giant, you can't collide and you can't really fall through those small holes. So it gives you, here's another pause. So the giant mode gives you sort of a couple seconds of break where you can just spam jumping without thinking about anything else. And speaking of spamming, I do take breaks, as you see. I probably was doing this for an hour straight, and my fingers were getting very sore. So every time I noticed that I couldn't spam out the jumps quickly, I would just take a small rest and continue from here. So in particular, I think I stopped here because the next section is a lot of spamming. I just jump, 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 jump. Whereas other sections, there's some time to relax at least. When you're waiting, for example, to jump over a hole and stuff like that. Here is where I usually fall. I don't know why, but I think 10 out of 12 times that I run this, I fall right over there. Here I break the shield on purpose again, so that I have fall immunity over here. And we're going. And then I break the shield again here for the same reason. So if you're a little less cautious than me, you could get away with sort of jumping and colliding and sort of doing this all in like perfect sync. But I was a little cautious because I do fall if I sort of lose concentration for a second, and that wouldn't be fun. I would have to restart and then do this again. And then I guess the other thing I didn't talk about yet is the Yeti pet. I'm not sure why Yeti sort of took over Magma Bird. I'm assuming it's a similar idea, so energy, right? Yeti gives those like periods of immunity, so you get your energy basically given back to you. And here, 748 million. If you watch my last video, at the end of Pomegranate's run, after all the revives and everything, we only scored 620 million. So we're already about like 120 million ahead of where we were before. And then Blueberry's run from here is pretty similar to what it was previously. I think probably just the timing of the jumping is slightly better. But yeah, so the Yeti, you know, these freezing periods, you don't lose energy. So it's effectively like, if you sum it all up, it's effectively like a revive that the magma gives you. Except probably even better, because since the run is so long, Yeti will get a lot of abilities out. Whereas Magma Bird is, you know, has a constant revive regardless of how long you've been running. And also, if I'm not mistaken, Yeti does give more points, like during its ability with those jellies that it produces, but I'm not sure on that. And you'll see at the very end, I end up performing just under 3,000 jumps throughout this run, and that is 200 more almost than I had with the pomegranate combi. So either my jumping timing was better, or it means that this combi is actually, like, it actually lengthens the run. Or maybe it's a combination of both. One thing I was also trying to do was get to the 18th stage to get an extra potion out and, you know, some extra points, but I could never quite capture the timing for that. Like, I couldn't figure out how to get the jumping quick enough to get to the 18th stage. If someone does figure it out, or if someone is able to do it, screenshot it, send it to me on Discord. I would love to see it. That would be a huge accomplishment. But yeah, so this is Blueberry's last big ability. I love Blueberry's abilities here because it's the only time in this entire run that you can actually rest, where you're not forced to spam jumping. And here we are, 1,020,000,000, almost 21 million, just barely first place. And something weird, I mentioned that the 1,018,000,000 points was with a fall. And without a fall, that's just 2 to 3 million points better. So it's I found that a little strange. There might be some way to exploit a fall somewhere. But yeah, as you can see, first place here. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. And yeah, till next time.